Why would Matheus Cunha post on his Instagram stories about his dream and it's time to look after his dream and his future and then delete it? Then start arguing with Wolves fans online as well. Some Wolves fans now calling for him not to play for the club again after his, well, not so much of an outburst, but very, very controversial opinion on social media today. We're going to talk about everything that's happened with that, why that's important, why did it in the first place, what does his dream mean? I'm going to talk about all of that and tell you exactly what that dream is. It's coming to United. I'm only joking. We'll get into it though, and we'll talk about it in detail. Other news around Manchester United: Antony, permanent deal, looking like it's getting closer. Rasmus Højlund's fee, not accepted, but set by Manchester United after more talks from Italy. I just don't get why these talks are keeping on, and they're actually starting to get noisier. I'll talk about that as well, and I'll go through the details of it. And something I was told that happened after the game against Lyon in the week, and it's with a certain goalkeeper as well. Interesting, stay around for that one. It does have an impact, and it kind of does tell you what's going on behind the scenes. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to explain all of that as well. Inside source talking about that one. But first of all, we're starting with Matheus Cunha, and of course, there will be a section of the show where we can take your comments and your live thoughts as well. But if you aren't watching live and you're catching up, please do drop your comments in below. Tell me what you think first of all to this situation that has developed with Matheus Cunha, Wolves forward, going this summer. We know he is. He's got a release clause. This is why he signed the deal in January, so Wolves could make money off him. They stayed safe in the Premier League, cashing in the summer. That was the agreement in place. So we know he's moving on. Now, Matheus Cunha has come out with a Instagram story, Instagram post, whatever you want to call it these days. I think it's a story anyway, because it has now been deleted. But in that story, Matheus Cunha made it very clear about his future in a way. It was kind of cryptic at first, but there's more to it, so stay with me on this one. Matheus Cunha's post was a picture of him in black and white, in a tracksuit top. You can't tell what it is. It may be it looks like his Wolves kit, to be honest. Time to be happy. I will follow my dreams, not yours. Stay cool, with a emoji of a wink and a tongue, like that one. You know the one. I'm okay, an idiot doing that there. But yeah, let's move on past that because it's been since deleted. Anyway, he's had comments from that, which he's replied to from a fan group, from a Wolves fan group. And it looks like a Wolves account, actually. Not the official one, obviously, but a fan account from Wolves. Something along the lines of his response to them and what they said, because there is a lot of uproar amongst the fans at Wolves. They're taking this as him following his dreams and wanting to move away from Wolves. But his two responses to this was, this is to a fan content channel and obviously a fan page as well. Do you know what you want? Question mark. For people to not like me here, unfortunately, I'm going to the field to solve the problem of your favourite club. Oh, that's cold. That is cold. I'm not here looking for alternatives to be someone important. Fans root for their own. They don't create misfortunes all the time. Bro, it's impossible. You have the same problem with me. Ha 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 ha. You want to understand everything I do. I'm going to end my marriage and marry you. Being a little bit tongue-in-cheek and a little bit, I don't know, he's trying to make a little bit, turn it into a bit light-hearted after the first comment, which I see as him really having to go back what these Wolves fans are actually saying. So, really, now, when we look at it, let's look at the actual post itself first of all. Now, we know, and I'll put a short out shortly, actually, on this. But there is another video from a few years ago where, obviously, Matheus Cunha has been asked the question about a move to Manchester United. He talked about it being a privilege to be linked with Manchester United, his love for United. We know that he's a United fan. He's always had an affection for Manchester United. So all of a sudden, when a post comes out with him on it and in it, the caption saying, time to be happy. Does that mean he's not happy at Wolves? I don't know. I will follow my dreams, not yours, so stay cool. Maybe he's responding to some fan reaction before it's actually come to these comments that have come off this particular post. Maybe there has been something behind the scenes that he's not happy about. We know that Cunha is outspoken, and we know that he has got, I won't say an attitude, but he has got discipline issues as such. He speaks his mind. He's very open as well. Now, you could take that as a good thing or a bad thing. Actually, do comment on that as well later on. Do you think that this is a red flag for United? Someone who is so outspoken on social media, and we know what Manchester United are like. Now, Wolves are not in the limelight anywhere near like Manchester United are. If United are going to spend money on this and spend the majority of their available budget this summer on a player like this, yes, on the pitch, fantastic. Do we need to have this off the field, not so much carnage, probably the wrong word, but issues from time to time? Now, we've seen what he's done after the final whistle, where he's gone after coaches. He's been stripped of his captaincy. The manager has actually come out and said that he wants more from him after a game, but like actually come out to national TV and called out Matheus Cunha. He, like I said, he lost his captaincy because of his antics and his attitude and temper after a game. So there are a lot of situations developed around Matheus Cunha this season. He signed that contract after all of that. And then now, I think he's ready to move. This, I think, is a contract which has been signed with that release clause of 62 million, because that's what Wolves want from Matheus Cunha's sale, and that's what they are going to get. With this deal only being 6 months old, i.e. signed it in January and he's going to be sold in the summer, this was the clause that was implemented, and this is how Wolves make their money and say goodbye to Matheus Cunha in the summer. That, I think, is how we all seen it anyway. The fact that with 6 or 7 games to go still, obviously Wolves are safe. Wolves fans now calling for, some fans calling for him never to play again after his social media posts and reactions today. So, really, when you look at it right now, there is a player that I think knows the end is nigh and obviously knows where he wants to go. If he's coming out and saying, time to be happy, time to move on, that's how I read it anyway. I mean, I'll come to the comment section now, the live comment section on this. How do you read Matheus Cunha's post there, first of all? Do you see that as him reaching out, already knowing? That's really how I see it. I think there is obviously a lot of talk going on right now. There is an awful lot of talk going around the transfer side of things. There's a lot going around Matheus Cunha as well, obviously. Do you think that he is actually going to be going in on what's happening, the fan reaction and things like this? There is another piece to this, actually, which he has replied to that I've only just seen now. And it's called Talking Wolves. Right, let's just have a look at this now. There's a response to this and Cunha on social media. I don't know why he's getting involved, honestly. It is a little bit of a worry for me in listening to this and reading this, that he's got so involved with fans. But he said his mind again here. So let's just read this one out now so you've got it. I'm sorry, but that's exactly what you want. The first one to report fake news, not what was really in the news. I make a video and pretend it's irrelevant. What you don't understand is that you are an opinion maker. If you don't like me, that's fine, friend. And in the end, every negative interpretation you have is the first one to try and reproduce. Sorry, it's a different text and it's smaller on my screen. To reproduce, let's do the following. In common, we only have the Wolves that I love so much. So really, what he's saying there is, I think he is upset with how the fans are taking to him. I think he has got an affection for Wolves, which he does. Like they're the ones who brought him across into England, after all. And obviously, he's had great times with Wolves. He's had some fantastic moments for Wolves. And he's had a great season. Let's not forget that. Personally, not for Wolves as a team, but personally, he's had a great season. But there is a lot going on with Matheus Cunha right now, and he is in the limelight. I think he's basically lashing out. It's like, if you don't appreciate me, it's fine. There are other clubs that will appreciate me. That's kind of how I read the situation a little bit with this one. You can take from it what you want, but he's not happy with some of the reaction that he's getting, and it all adds to what is clearly going to be a pretty exciting summer in terms of speculation columns and all of these column inches being filled with loads of transfer news. But again, this is a player that is going to be a wanted man this summer. And we all know the teams that are officially in for Matheus Cunha. We know that Arsenal, Manchester United, Newcastle, Chelsea, we know that all of these clubs, Nottingham Forest as well, are in for Matheus Cunha. And the only thing that we've got in our favour is the fact that he isn't bothered, apparently, about European football right now. And he has got that love and affection for Manchester United, and he's shown that before in previous summers. So really, when you look at it, it is a bit of a mess for Wolves right now with this. But I think they knew what they had in Matheus Cunha, and they've got this clause in place, this 62 million quid, and I think this is what they've got because they knew that this was already coming. And you know what? They could probably deal with a little bit of car crash moments towards the end of the season because they know that they're safe now. But it's a sad way to go. It is a sad way to go. And obviously, we do need to keep an eye on this one. I think it is going to develop even more. But I take from this, it's a positive for Manchester United or anyone else who's chasing him. I think he's just confirming that he's on his way. Anything like this isn't sustainable with the fans, especially with big fan content channels and things like that. You know how it goes from there. But, I mean, you tell me what you think. By the way, everybody, we was going to be doing the quiz tonight, wasn't we? We have had to delay it because of a technical issue. So people who have bought their tickets, don't worry, it is still valid. I'll fill you in a little bit more towards the back end of the show, just so you know, so you're not getting prepared for it or anything like that. Sorry about this, everyone. It did just happen today. And so I've had to just move things around a little bit. But you are safe with your ticket and your money. Don't worry about that if you have bought a ticket for it. I will keep you updated on it. I'll tell you more towards the end of the show as well. But just so you're updated on that anyway. Okay, let's get into the comment section on this one. Give me your full opinions on this. By the way, everybody, thank you so much for the likes already. Keep them coming in. Pig Riser says this is a big red flag. Adam mate, he's a PR player. Stay far away. I don't know, Nico. You've got to be looking at this and saying, I mean, you take it how you want to take it. I feel, and it's like Nico says there. He's got his opinion on it. Also, Pig Riser there. He's got his opinion on the situation. It just seems to be like an attention-seeking sort of. It's not a cry for help because he's in quite a comfortable position, but it is attention-seeking a little bit. You don't need to get involved with fan accounts. Definitely not on social media. Mabs simply says, we need goals. Simple as that. I like it, Adam. Imagine Cantona and Keane on social media nowadays. I like the nasty streak. He'd be awesome if we can sign him. He'd transform our front line with just him. I think he would give us a lot more. And like Bab says there as well, we would be looking at scoring a lot more goals if we had a Matheus Cunha in our side. And let's not forget, he can play 10 and 9. Football side of things, I don't think that there is any issue at all with Matheus Cunha. I think what we're trying to say from this is, do you feel like there is any issue at all with Cunha from what you're seeing here? Do you think that there is a problem later down the line off the pitch, character-wise, with him? I think he can be tamed. I think he performs on the pitch, so sometimes I think he can do what he wants. Sometimes I think it's totally fine. Do what you need to do, buddy. I feel like United right now can handle what Cunha has got compared to what we've had before. Because let's be honest, we've had players talking the talk and not walking the walk. At least Cunha's walking the walk on the pitch as well. So realistically, I think right now, United would look at this and go, we can curb this. We can get into him. And he's at a big club. And I don't mean this in any disrespect to Wolves at all. But Wolves and United, different animal altogether. And I just don't think that it will be the same for him at Manchester United. And there is a lot of change going on at our club right now. And we've seen how players have actually had to adapt a lot to the changes that are happening at Manchester United. So I think he'll be all right at United. I do. Sounds like freedom, says Sam. I get that one. Morgan Gibbs White or Cunha. I think it's probably Cunha for me, personally. We have been linked to Cunha for years, even before he signed for Atletico Madrid. We nearly signed him. And again, a problem for Manchester United's recruitment team. Again, when he wasn't big enough for United, and he wasn't good enough for United. MA is just saying Cunha is too expensive. Is Cunha worth 62 million quid? I mean, that's another question you've got to ask yourself. How much will he cost? 62 million, Babs, is the answer to that. Don't give a massive wage. He needs to earn it. If we get him, people should come for the passion and you earn your money. Well, we know from the way that this structure is set up as well that Manchester United are not just going to be gifting wages away. We're not just going to be gifting players stupid money. You do have to earn your money. And again, I've said this before. I don't want to go into too much detail about it, but the new structured setup with the wage structure at Manchester United now, where you get more as the club get better and you get better, like the Kobe Mainoo one, for instance. I think that's where we're at with it, and I'm not concerned with any player coming in now that they're going to be overpaid. I think everybody earns their money. Sully Jr. says Wolves should be on their knees for Cunha. Ungrateful. I don't think it's necessarily Wolves, mate. It's a Wolves fan account, not Wolves themselves. That, I think, is the difference in this. Forest have trophies, not like Tottenham. They get called a top 6. Bad result for Forest today. A really bad result for that. We don't require a player that's constantly on social media arguing with people. Just seems like a bit of a plonker. Another Sancho situation in the making. No, I disagree a little bit with that. I get what you're saying. Arsenal are going on right now. They're 1-0 up against Brentford. Are we bothered? We'll watch the Arsenal game against Madrid and see if they can do it on Wednesday. But I'm not really bothered about Arsenal-Brentford. We already know that Arsenal are probably now going to finish top 4. But I know that game is going on at the moment, and I'm sure the chat will keep us updated with the Arsenal score. The transfer numbers are literally something Ruben considered. He needs discount like Liverpool and Madrid. You get your money after the trophies like Casemiro did. We became a retirement home. Yeah, Ryan, I think you're right on that one there, buddy. I think there is an element of Manchester United just overpaying for the sake of getting players through the door. I don't think Cunha is going to be that type of player, just like the other players that are walking through the door recently for Manchester United over the last year. Their wages are not astronomical, and I think they are in line with what Manchester United can really budget and afford. And I think that's what Cunha will fall into as well. So, yeah, I mean, I look at it, whichever way you do look at it, again, like I said, I think it is proof that there is unrest there at Wolves with Cunha. Whether you call it with the fans, whether you call it with the manager, or you call it with him wanting to move on and be more successful, whichever way, it looks like he's moving. And obviously, now that has been deleted, we can all sort of surmise what it actually meant. I personally feel like it's maybe Wolves telling him to take it down because it's too much aggro. And obviously, when you follow your dreams, and you can take that video from a few years back when he sat, well, it looks like he's on vacation, talking to the camera about going to Manchester United. Obviously, he has got his affection with United. You can sort of put a little bit together and say he's going to United. He's going to follow his dream and end up at Manchester United. That could be the case. And I think Wolves just want to shut it down. So my guess is that it's been shut down because Wolves told him to shut it down. And they don't need the palaver and all of the aggro, especially with fan groups as well. It just isn't going to go down well. And I think there's only going to be one winner because there is no loyalty in football, of course. The only loyal people are the fans. And as we know, we get shafted. But I think Cunha's gone just to break everything down and go over all the necessaries there. Bye-bye, Matheus Cunha, I think, is the obvious from that one. Anyway, do want to move on and get on to the next story, which is a very, very interesting one for all Manchester United fans. And that is that breaking news just in the last couple of hours around Antony. Yes, Brazilian Antony. Real Betis have advanced negotiations to buy Antony permanently. His loan for Manchester United ends at the end of the season, and the Spanish club wants to acquire him permanently. They are being forced into it. This has come from several sources now, and there's a few people reporting on it, and it is going around. It is doing the rounds on social media. So, yeah, there's a few saying, and it is Estadio Deportivo as well, a Spanish outlet. There is also a Dutch outlet reporting this as well. Real Betis are very close to reaching an agreement to keep Antony. The breaking news over the last couple of hours, this, everybody. So, Antony, a bye-bye. Now, we knew that Antony was going to be a popular man going into the summer transfer window. And Betis, I think, have got wind of bids coming in to Manchester United for Antony's services. So what happens in this situation is Manchester United get wind of let's be honest, Manchester United get wind of a possible bid or somebody else interested in Antony, i.e. Atletico Madrid, and that is him being wanted by Simeone and they can afford him. United then obviously let Real Betis know, or they get noise out that Antony is actually going to be available to somebody else if you don't make a deal happen now. We will give you first on Antony if you want to make it permanent, and you have to move now, and it has to be this summer. Now, Betis are going great guns, obviously, since Antony has signed, and they are closing in on a Champions League place if Bilbao do keep on slipping. At the moment, they're looking good for Europa League, which is obviously better than what they've got right now, which is Conference League. So I look at this and I go, Manchester United are just doing their bit, and they're doing what's necessary to get Antony's price up. And obviously, we have got a good relationship with Betis after getting this deal done for Antony, and now we're pushing it out. But this is just good news for United. Proactive Manchester United, before the window has even opened, is everything that Manchester United fans could dream of, I feel. And we're happy that this is now moving forward. I mean, I'm ecstatic that United are getting business done early. If we can get Antony out of the door, then it is all good for Manchester United, because I've said this last night, we've still got to deal with Rashford, we've still got to deal with Sancho. If we can get at least one of them big three out of the way and get a permanent deal done for Antony, that's one headache gone. And then we can move forward and deal with the rest. And I think the summer is going to take... a lot of the summer is going to be taken by the negotiation times and just trying to move the likes of Sancho and bleeding Rashford on. I think that's what we're looking at. But Antony, in a good place, doing well in Spain, has given us an opportunity to actually get this deal done. Steve Brindle, welcome back to the chat, my buddy. I've not seen you for ages. He's just gifted a membership, which has gone to Danny B. Danny B, welcome to the Members Club, my man. But Steve, welcome back, my man. Not seen you for a while. Hope you're doing well. Adam, if we move on Antony, Rashford, and maybe Sancho, it would be great and a bit more money, a lot more money, because Antony, we're not going to make a lot on. I'm just going to make it clear. We're losing Antony's wages up to 10 million, maybe a little bit more a season. Very good, especially when he's got another 2 years to run on his contract. So you're saving a good 20 million plus in wages over the next 2 years for Antony, which is good for budgeting. Then you look at, obviously, if we sell him, what we're selling him for. If we get 40 million, we're going to make a little bit of profit on him as well. It's not a lot, maybe 5 million. I think it was 33 point something United needed to sell Antony for to break even. So if we get anything over 35, it's a tiny little bit of profit. Not much, but he's gone. And for PSR, it works. And the big wages, gone. We're saving more in wages than we are getting transfer fee for Antony. That's what you've got to say. Which, when you look at it and you go into the detail of it, that's what we're looking at. But Sancho and Rashford, now that is seen as pure profit. 100% profit on Rashford because he's homegrown, but Sancho, because he's in the last year of his deal, obviously now his transfer fee is pretty much paid off. So 25 million for him is now seen as pure profit for Jadon Sancho. So that can go into the coffers as well. There probably is still an instalment left to pay on Jadon Sancho. The instalments are usually finished and finalised by 4 years worth of payments. So United would have been paying something in the region of, 17, 18 million a season for Jadon Sancho. 4 years in, you're near enough there for his transfer fee. So after this season, I think the actual fees that we owe to Dortmund are pretty much done. And then if you sell him after that, you're pretty much then just bringing a little bit of money back in to use. But for PSR, it means that a transfer is paid, and that's not on the annual budget or coming out of Manchester United. It's done, gone, and we've sold him. His massive wages off the book, which is upwards of 17 million a year. And then we're talking about that transfer fee on top of that, so 25 million, £5 million in penalty from Chelsea if they do send him back, plus whatever we sell him for, which hopefully is the 25 million. But still, that and Rashford and all of the wages involved in them two, are monumental for Manchester United's budgets going into the summer. Can you imagine? We move Rashford, we move Sancho, we move Antony, and then we qualify for the Champions League. All of a sudden, the outlook looks completely different for Manchester United. But Antony looks like it is nailed on now. Going off these reports, Antony to leave Manchester United this summer and Betis already making a move tells you where United are at, which is in the box seat right now when it comes to Antony's situation. And it does look like we are going to be rid of Antony. Favola Ferris wheel looks like he's on his way out of Manchester United permanently this summer. No more Antony wheels. It's done. The Panther, the celebration, everything that Antony was, looks like it's coming to an end. Look, I'm not going to start popping the party poppers and cracking out the bunting just yet, but we still need to actually get that deal finalised. But the noise is coming out and the stories floating around right now are that Antony is on his way out of Manchester United, which is great news for everybody involved, player and club, to be fair. And both clubs, let's be honest, because it's working, in it, for them. So let's get some comments on this, please. Actually, keep your Cunha comments coming in. Keep your Antony comments coming in. We've got a lot more to talk about. I'm just going to get a few comments before we move on. How is the time going so quick? Why does it go so quick? My God. You have to give credit to Antony working hard to get his move, whereas Rashford and Sancho don't care. They're only in it for the money, Adam, says Henry. Maybe, but Rashford in particular, I think it's a difficult situation for him now. And I'm not saying this through any sympathy or any sympathy reasons at all for Rashford. I think Rashford has to make something happen because of the World Cup. And he needs to cement a move away because Ruben won't play him. And we know this. And I think Rashford's scared of that. So them showdown talks that United need to have when Rashford comes back, because he is coming back. We spoke about them last night. They will be in line of, right, you're still not a part of this team. So we need to work on getting you out of the door and finding you another club. Because you're not going to be in that England squad for the World Cup if you come back to Manchester United. I think that has been made clear. Not welcome. Simple as. And that, I think, is the important thing in everything right now. So, when it comes to it, yes, Antony, I think, has done more. And I think he wasn't as much of a problem. He wanted to play. And he was willing to play anywhere for United. But he just didn't have the quality. We've seen all of the quality under the sun in Sancho and in Marcus Rashford over the years at different club. For Sancho, not particularly United, but Rashford has done it for United at times. Look, the quality's there. But we're trying to sell them players now off the back of what was and not what is. And that's the issue that we've got this summer. That's why Bleeding Sancho's coming back and not going to Chelsea for 25 million. So the issues are still there. There's a lot of work for United to still do in the summer. Betis has only signed 3 players for more than 20 million euros. Well, they're going to have to break the bank. And it's, do you know what? You could look at this and it could be similar to what United are doing. We're not going to get Antony. When I talked about Antony making a bit of profit on him, it would be, in PSR terms, instalments coming back to United. So it depends what Betis can afford year on year. Now, they're not going to give Man United 40 million, bang, there you go, straight down into the bank account. It's probably going to be a 4-year deal. Maybe 10 million a season for Antony or something like that. Maybe shorten it to 3 years and pay a little bit more. But that's what the deal would be. Everyone works the same way when it comes to transfers. So it's not like they're not going to be able to afford Antony. They can. And obviously, if they qualify for the Europa League or they qualify for the Champions League, they'll have a lot more money as well. So we will see what they're doing, but negotiations are ongoing. And I'm sure United won't leave themselves short on this deal. They want to make sure that they get the maximum value. And Betis will have to fall in line because, like we said, Atletico Madrid will buy Antony. They can afford him. Juventus can afford to buy Antony. So Betis have got to make a move. And I think we are going to be seeing this now. Antony's attitude was never as bad as Rashford's or Freedom Sancho, says Ross. 100% agree. Babs says, Adam, what do you think about the bad way the away fans were treated in France? You know what? I've not spoken about that yet, Babs, but an absolute disgrace. And you know what? There's form for it in France. And I'm not just saying this is a French thing, but you can only look at what you've seen. Remember what happened to the Liverpool fans in the final against Madrid? Remember that. I remember what happened to, actually it wasn't Madrid, that one, was it? It was another one. Was it the Spurs final? I think it was, wasn't it? Can't remember now which one it was. It was one of them anyway at the Parc de France. And they got tear gassed. Man United fans tear gassed in the stand, not being able to go to the toilet, having been kept behind hours after an absolute nightmare scenario of trying to get into the stadium in the first place with wristbands that didn't even work or count for anything on public transport that doesn't even fit how many fans we had there. Actually, in France, it was an absolute shambles and a disgrace, and deliberate, I feel. A lot of the time it is. Like, how can you not put on the right amount of transport when you know exactly how many fans are coming to collect wristbands, i.e. tickets for the game? You have said to fans that you only get into the stadium if you actually go and collect your wristbands. So they know how many fans are coming, and for them to not put the public transport on enough to actually get all of the fans in, that for me needs to be questioned more than anything. But then obviously the treatment, you get it all of the time abroad with England fans. United have had it quite a few times in Europe and a few other English clubs. It is an absolute shambles. It really is, Babs. Good that you brought that up. Sean says in the chat, Amorim will not get sacked this summer. Ten Hag signings are still killing us. Rasmus and Onana, with the right 4-5 signings this summer and all expected departures, watch us fly up the league. I'm with you in the actual thought of that, and I want that to happen. Proof is in the pudding and then is in the eating, my friend, as they always say. All I've been told is what they say. Sadly, it hasn't worked out for him, as he's a good bloke, but can't stick with him next season if we want top 6. I think that's Antony. I think that's what you're talking about there, John. Please keep your comments coming in, everybody, as well. Thank you for all the likes. There was plenty of them on the show as well already. Thank you. Bosnich, and I say this with respect, was also an absolute cook friend, if I am remembering correctly. I'm not sure what that conversation is, Roz, but yeah, you crack on, mate, and talk to the people in the chat. I will move forward with the next bit of news, which is an interesting one, and this isn't actually in the public eye right now. This is something that I was told, and apparently after the game, after the Lyon game, there was a bit of a spat, basically. And that was that 2 Manchester United players, now I'm not going to say the players, but 2 Manchester United senior players were fuming with Andre Onana after the game and nearly had a fight. So we're talking here being held apart. Obviously, there is a bit of unrest within Manchester United's dressing room right now, changing room. I would hope that there would be, because I'd be livid with him, to be honest. I'd be absolutely livid with him. But I'm looking at this and I'm going, and like I said, I'm not going to mention the names of the players just through the source reasons, because it would probably get out. I'm just going to say that. But 2 senior players at Manchester United falling out with Andre Onana to a point where apparently they were nearly having a fight. Now, you can decide which players you think that might actually be. But not a happy camp right now at Manchester United in that changing room. And I like that. I like that there's fighting. I like that there's unrest within, because they cannot accept these standards and be happy with them. It's all right. I've said this before. Yes, everyone's happy. It's great in training. But when it comes down to the business side of things, then you do need results on the pitch. And if your teammates are letting you down, then it's going to cause unrest. So, yes, I'm not surprised that this player's falling out in Manchester United's changing room. I'm not surprised that senior players are starting to pull other players for underperformance, because everybody else is having to deal with this crap. You've got people being let go left, right and centre from Manchester United staff-wise. You've got fans paying through the teeth for tickets, and you've got players that are just getting away with absolutely everything for underperforming on the pitch. And when we talk about the worst team in Manchester United's history, like Ruben Amorim has said himself, all of these players are being brandished and tarnished with the same brush. And that is that they are part of this, when really it's not all of them. And I think some of these players are just getting absolutely sick to the back teeth of being called absolute garbage and the worst in history at Manchester United, and it's not their fault. So I think there is kicking off going on behind the scenes, and I'm absolutely buzzing for it. I want unrest, I want black eyes, I want windmilling in the changing rooms, I want Pizzagate and Buddy Bootgate from Fergie days, Roy Keane fighting and wanting to take Teddy Sheringham's head off, fighting with Peter Schmeichel, Cantona making everyone sit down. I want all of this back. I want it to be kicking off and doors flying off hinges and everything like that. So that's what we need. We need to be having this. We need to be having this. We need to have the standards raised at United, and players falling out and players arguing for me is a good sign that things are moving in the right direction culture-wise at Manchester United. It's like, I'm not accepting that. Deal with it. Get better now. This is a joke. All of these sorts of conversations going on behind the scenes. This is what we need as a football club. We need this. These types of. We need these types of incidents to be happening, because we're not accepting it. We're all blowing a gasket watching this football, and you've seen everyone's reactions after the Lyon game. I'm sure if there were any humans within this Manchester United squad of players, which I'm sure there is, then they're going to feel the same things as what we are. They're going to be livid. And that man is right in front of them there, in the changing room, getting dressed, getting changed, knowing that he has let us down again. Like, how many compilations have you seen of Andre Onana this week and all of the mistakes that he's made with the caption, "Which one's the worst?" My God, there's a catalogue of them, isn't there? And it's about time someone actually started standing up and said, this is not acceptable. This has to stop. And I think Ruben will be forced into taking Andre Onana out of that starting lineup. It has to be done. It goes back to what we were saying this morning, but this is just a little bit of info that I was told from behind the scenes that is just adding to the unrest right now, that Manchester United are not a happy camp, and I'm glad it's that way, because we cannot be accepting this crap. Okay, let's get some comments on this one. Fight, says Roddy. Knock the clown out, bruv. Roy Keane would have chinned Onana for that display, Adam. I'm sure he would. Adam Mods, FUTV family, great show as usual. Sadly must go. Hope you all have a great night, especially Babs tomorrow, which is her birthday. Yeah, thank you for that, realist. Absolutely love comments like that, mate. Thank you very much. Go and have a good night, my friend. Wayne says, Maguire looked like he wanted to lamp a one on Onana early in the game. He looked really pissed off with him. Remember that friendly? Someone's put a clip out, the friendly of the pre-season tour when Onana first signed, when he went marching over to Maguire, absolutely blasting him for something that he did, like a mistake he did in that game. My God, how times have changed. Get back on your line, mate, and try and save the bleeding ball. For God's sake, honestly. But yes, it is 1-1 Arsenal. God, what is it like? Forest dropping points. Arsenal looking like they're dropping points. Are we just trying to hand over the title? Does anyone want to win in that top 5 these days? Like City after their start today. What is going on, man? It is mental right now. Thank God someone is growing a pair of balls, says Pete. Henry says, Adam, did you see Roy Keane's argument with Ian Wright on the overlap about Bruno Fernandes? I did see it. I did. I made a video on there overreacting to certain things that don't need the reaction that they gave on a separate video, actually, on Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, Gary Neville, and all of the Man United pundits in general, really, and their thoughts on it. Like, can you imagine the analysis from the likes of Roy Keane and Gary Neville on Onana after that mess again? I mean, it was clear enough listening to Peter Schmeichel on Andre Onana's balls up and what was going on after that. He actually thought that the second one was worse than the first one. So that's coming from a proper goalkeeper as well. So anyone who was trying to defend Onana in that situation, I think, have been put right back in their place by the experts and the real goalkeepers out there. Because I think they were saying exactly what we were all thinking. This is not good enough. Shit. Absolutely shit. Good on Antony for going off to Spain, getting game time and making an impact rather than just sitting on his contract making money, says Russell. I think a few people are thinking down them lines and actually coming across with that look on it. Newcastle's home record is so good that I hope he changes the team tomorrow, says Babs. It should be sorted from within. That's great. That's a great sign. It's been OnlyFans, Maguire cleared 1, and Yoro made Maguire give a Nana death stare. You're all sort of getting very, very close to actually the players. I'm not even going to mention the player, but a lot of you have already mentioned the name of the player in the chat already. Just to give it a little bit away. A little bit of updated news as well on the squad for tomorrow. Jack Morehouse is travelling with Manchester United's first team squad. He is in the squad alongside Chido as well. I think there's a couple of others actually. I don't know if any of them are going to feature again, but yeah, Jack Morehouse is in the Manchester United squad yet again. Not for the first time this season as well. Just been told that in the last 20 minutes as well. Morehouse on the way to Newcastle with Manchester United squad. So good news for us Reds that we've got another academy player there. I would like to see, actually, stand to me, would you play some of the kids tomorrow? This game, it really is meaningless for us right now. Kamasin and Amas are also in there. It is meaningless for us. Would you play some of the academy players tomorrow? Would you just go for it and give them a bit of game time in the Premier League? Look, we're not going to move from 13th. We're just not. The teams above us are just going to keep on winning. And we may be able to scrape maybe to 12th or 11th. In the grand scheme of things, I know it's 3 million a position right now and we do need to win games, but honestly, I think we need to see some of these academy players and we need to be resting players up also for the game against Leon on Thursday. It'd be interesting to see who's actually back fit for that. Will Aidan Heaven be coming back into the squad? Will we see Luke Shaw eventually? I mean, he's been fit and on the bench couple of times, but still not featured yet. So when will Ruben be tempted into bringing Luke Shaw into the side? That's an interesting one. But yeah, good to see plenty of the academy players heading out to St James's Park for tomorrow as well. That's good. Over 200 live likes. Mental. Thank you, everybody. Give the video a like if you're loving the content, by the way. Make sure you get your comments in. Hit that subscribe button as well. You will be kept up to date with everything going around Manchester United here on FUTV. Rest Dargu, play a mass, start Mount, and Morehouse behind Obby. Ooh, that is a young team. That is a very, very young team. Rather blood in Kakonke, then give Shaw any minutes, says Danny. I think a few people would echo that one there, mate. I really do think they would. But yeah, we will see. We'll see how he plays it. Interesting is what I say tomorrow. I feel like I'm going to enjoy the game tomorrow because we are going to change a few things. I think that's how a lot of United fans are looking at tomorrow's game, actually. And Anna can't even dive. He goes down like a sack of spuds that's being pushed over, says Wayne. Even worse than that, to be honest. Spirit says, play the kids from now till the end of the season. Meaningless games, but vital opportunity for vital experience going forward. He could test out a few of these players. He could, couldn't he? One player's place who is up for grabs alongside Ananas, who we've been talking about all week, is Rasmus Højlunds. Manchester United apparently will not entertain any bid unless it is over 53 million quid. 52 maybe, actually. I think it is, but what's the difference with a million? Yeah, so honestly, Rasmus Højlunds stays then. There was a lot of talk going from the Italian side of things. I don't know why I said Italian there, but that's just me. And it is all on the line of like discussions are still ongoing, and there is hope that Rasmus Højlunds can be signed. Juventus, Napoli. There is a few Italian teams actually looking at Rasmus Højlunds, and honestly, as a United fan, watching him for the last 2 seasons, I'm thinking, I wouldn't be going anywhere near him for 52 million quid. But if United get that, I think I said exactly the same thing this morning. Hats off to Manchester United's negotiating team. If you can manage to get that deal negotiated and get him out of the door, then well done you. Well done. It is I think, an impossible ask, though. I cannot see Rasmus Højlunds leaving Manchester United this summer. I just don't see it. I really don't. Again, I did say before that I wanted to update you on the actual quiz. We were doing the Ultimate Manchester United quiz tonight after the show. It isn't happening tonight, sadly now, everybody. Sorry, we did have some issues with the website. We wanted to make sure it was right and make sure that people got value for money. So if you have bought a ticket already, do not worry. It will be used and you are still involved in the quiz. We are just going to move it to another date, and I will confirm everything probably tomorrow on match day as to what we're thinking and where we're going with it. But yeah, please do jump across and still buy them tickets for the ultimate quiz, please, everybody. It is still going to go ahead, and we will hopefully have more information. I will have more information for you a little bit later on, probably tomorrow. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to drop the link in there again for everybody in the live chat. We're just going to give it a little bit more time. Just so we can iron out a few things and make sure that it is bang on the money when we do the quiz. But yeah, there it is in the chat right now, everybody. Please do click on that link and get involved in the ultimate quiz. We will be playing our match bingo again tomorrow, everybody, so make sure that you are involved with that. More on that, obviously, of course, tomorrow. But really, that is it. You are completely up to date, everyone. The show is yours. Thank you so much again for all of your contributions, everybody. Everyone involved in the chat. Please do drop your comments in on the video once it has finished its live. And we'll have a look through them. We'll bring some of them up possibly tomorrow as well when all the other news breaks. I'm back tomorrow at 8 o'clock to start match day off bright and early, everybody. So make sure that you are there. Make sure you've subscribed. Give the video a like if you're loving the content, and I will see you all tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Have a great Saturday evening, whatever you're up to. Go and enjoy the weather while it lasts, because apparently it's going to get crap tonight, and that rains are coming. It is in Manchester anyway. Back to normal, eh?